The RBI is all set to transfer a massive 1.76 lakh crore rupees to the government. The Reserve Bank of India is transferring its entire surplus along with excess provisions amounting to 1.76 lakh crore rupees to the government. This move has been announced based on the Jalan panel recommendations, and the RBI move will help the government amid the economic slowdown. This is the largest amount yet to be transferred by the central bank to the government. In the previous financial years, the amount has ranged from 30 to 65,000 crores. But this year, the transfer has touched a record high. The Congress, meanwhile, has questioned the government, calling the transfer a bailout package, and also said this was merely transfer from government to government itself. Congress's Abhishek Manu Singhvi has also demanded a clarity from the government on what this money will be used for. Let's listen in to what Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, had said just a few days before this transfer took place about several steps to help the ailing economy.
Upfront, we are releasing the 70,000 crores. Upfront, we are releasing the 70,000 crores and additional lending and liquidity to the tune of 5 lakh crores can be made available by providing this upfront capital for the PSPs. This was announced in the budget. We are doing it upfront now. And this will, we are very clear that this will benefit all the corporates, retail borrowers, MSMEs, and small traders as well.
Let me now go across to my colleagues, Chaiti Narula, who's joining us with more details on this story. We are also being joined by Rajiv Dubey on the phone line, Managing Editor, Business India Today. Chaiti, just coming to you first very quickly. What does this mean? The Congress is questioning the move. This is unprecedented, which is happening, but the intentions were made very clear by the government a few months back. It's not something which has been jolted out of blue.
No, Ankit, you're absolutely right out there, but one must also realize that this is an unprecedented figure. The RBI is transferring surplus reserves to the government is nothing new. They've done it in the past as well. Now, according to the revised economic capital framework, 1.76 lakh crore rupees, which is more than the average of 5 years average. It's over 3 times the 5-year average of 53,000 crore rupees. Now, one must realize why this is being done. When the Congress says this is a bailout to the government, yes, loosely speaking, you can call it a bailout to the government as well. Because just recently, Nirmala Sitharaman, if you remember, announced 70,000 crore rupees of bank capitalization budget. She also announced a stimulus to the economy of 5 lakh crore rupees for liquidity infusion as well. Now, one must understand that the economy is ailing. When you have so many expenditures that are planned, the fiscal deficit targets go awry as well. The government time and again has stressed on the fact that they want to contain the fiscal deficit at 3.3% of the GDP. Now, how do you do that when you do not have that much liquidity as well? So this is a bit of a stimulus package for the economy. The RBI transferring surplus amount to the government. Perhaps this would help in the widening fiscal deficit figures and make sure that it contains it and, tightens it up a little bit. The economy is going through a massive liquidity crunch, and we do know that liquidity infusion is the need of the hour as well. Now, one must understand that there are also other reasons, like you have a revenue collection where there is a shortfall in that on the back of GST and many other reasons as well. There are off-balance sheet borrowings as well. So to contain all of that, the government, there is no two things about it, requires revenue at this point of time. It requires capital at this point of time. And of course, the RBI coming in.
Chaiti, may I request you to stay on with me? Let me also get in a quick word from Rajiv Dubey on this. Rajiv, the question that the opposition is asking, and rightly so, is what is it that this money is going to be used for? The government, it just comes a few days after Nirmala Sitharaman came out and in fact spoke about few measures to try and stimulate the economy. How has that been taken by the industry, and what do you think of this new move by the government?
Ankit, that's precisely, it's a valid question. It's a $1 million question, because we haven't got any answer yet from the government on where this money is going to be utilized. Now, the only concern that any economist has about this money falling in the hands of government at this point is that they should not end up using this in non-productive assets. They should use it in productive assets, which will help generate, kickstart the engines of the economy. And the best way to do that is either utilize part of that into infrastructure creation and into public spending, so that the economic engine of the country continues to move and more productive assets are generated out of it. If we end up funding the NPAs of the banks, that's probably the most unproductive use of this. So the concern that ideally this should be used in productive assets, in generating more revenue out of this 1.76 lakh crore.
All right. Thank you so much, Chaiti and Rajiv, for joining us with your inputs and perspective on this story. This is going to be a big